What's up, coaches? Welcome to call number 2 for our team training during the month of June. What I'm going to be sharing with you tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about sharing your story and creating your brand. And I'm also going to share with you a couple of my favorite coach secrets. So I want to start with that tonight. And I want to talk to you about the importance of having good images and lighting. And I want to share with you a couple little hacks or secrets that I probably wish somebody would have told me in the beginning, and that I think a lot of you probably don't realize as you are watching coaches take these photos and you're thinking, how did they get that picture? Or, hi, Kathy. Or, how are they making themselves look so bright, right? These are all things that people often ask me. Like, they'll say, my new coaches will say, Sarah, I took my workout picture today and it does not look like yours. What are you doing differently? And so that's what I'm going to show you for a second here. First things first, I wish that I would have had one of these a long time ago. So I have a tripod here. I got my tripod off Amazon. I want to say it was maybe $18. I spent 3 years of my coach life propping my cell phone up on water bottles, kids' toys, chairs, you name it, so that I could get the picture, and I would put it on self-timer and I'd run really fast and pose. It was a disaster. And then I was like, I just need to get a tripod. And so I did, and my life became 1,000 times easier. My pictures became a lot more professional. So if you are serious about this business, I want you to get a tripod. Order one tonight on Amazon. You'll be so glad that you did. Another thing that I also would recommend getting, especially if you're going to do a lot of things from your cell phone, I would recommend that you get a ring light. So can you all see this? This was like $10 on Amazon. It really doesn't matter what brand you get, honestly, because you'll probably go through several of them. This one that I have, again, I don't even know the brand. I've had it since February. I've never even had to charge it. It works really well. If I'm going to do a training from my laptop and I'm not at home, I plug it over. So right now, it made me a little bit too bright because I have my big light on behind me, but I just put this on my computer screen where my camera is. So same with if I'm taking a selfie of myself, I could just simply put this up like this and it will make me look brighter. And so we know that with imagery, we know that bright lights are important and natural lighting is important too. So I would recommend one of these, $10. Again, these are all tax write-offs, so they're worth it. Now, if you're going to really up your game and you want to take this really seriously, I would recommend getting one of these. So behind me, you can see this is my umbrella light. Some people get the ring light, the big ring light. Now, the big ring light will cost you around $300 or so, $200, $300. Don't buy that one. A lot of makeup artists will get it. You've seen it. It's awesome. And it will make you look amazing. And any coach that's one of those, you look at their Instagram or their Facebook and you're like, they look so good in their pictures. They probably have a ring light and they're getting really close to the ring light before they take the picture. That umbrella light that I have behind me, just a photographer's umbrella light, I want to say it was $40 or so. It is a worthy investment. My basement that I used to work out in, my old house, was really dark. And so if you have a really dark space where you're working out in, you're going to want an umbrella like that. Same with when you start to do if you go live on Instagram or on Facebook, or even if you're hosting calls. When I'm sitting in my office, that light is not turned on. And I'll show you the difference actually, just so you guys can see from a lighting standpoint what it does. See how I'm not as shiny, right? I look kind of dull, and I'm gonna actually leave it off because for this call it's fine because it's just us, and it's bright on my eyes. But I would recommend one. So these are things that I would say to get. As we go into the coming weeks, I'm gonna teach you more behind the scenes secrets and hacks and how to make your images pop and really how to just stand out, because that's one of the most important things for you with your business, is that your images have to pop. It's so important. So I will share those details with you shortly. Another thing that I want to show you very quickly, Erica had asked me a question about this, and so I'm assuming that some of you have had a similar question. She asked me about how I make my form for my Lift 4 application form. When I did the team call on Sunday night, I talked about it. So if you're like, what is she talking about? go back and listen to the team call. So first things first, you'll want to have a Google account. You're going to use it a lot. And in your Google account, I would recommend that you make these forms because they can be sent to your email. So what I do is I just click new. She was making it as a document, but I would actually, if you're going to be collecting data and like collecting information, I would just make a new Google form. So right here, you can do docs and sheets and slides, but there's an option to do forms. If you click on more, so I would click forms, take it to Dad, honey, I'm on the phone, okay? And then what you can do is you can just edit it from here. You can type whatever you want. You can make questions. There's a little toggle sign over here. It's pretty user-friendly. I would maybe watch a YouTube tutorial on how to do it. But then what I do is I just send this link. So I click send in the upper right-hand corner, and then I shorten the link. There's a little button to shorten it. And then I copy it, and that's what I send. When I want to embed it in my blog, so I use Blogspot, or Blogspot is what I use. When I want to embed it, so if you're going to embed it into like any type of website, just click on that and it'll give you the coding to enter in, and then it embeds it right into your space. So I know that I didn't give a great tutorial right now on how to do that, but I would recommend it. And then one thing that I would tell you to do too for your responses is if you click on the right-hand side, did everybody see that? So where it says responses, you can drop it into a spreadsheet. Or what I love to do, I think this is super important, so you're not always monitoring it yourself, click get notifications. So it'll email you anytime someone fills that form out. I love when I get that email. I'm like, yes! So I wouldn't want to sit and monitor that form. I would want it telling me. So I would make sure you guys toggle that option on. But I love that you're getting your feet wet. I love that you guys are getting excited and trying to set yourself up for a successful launch. So that's great. Before I start on tonight's topic, is there any questions that you wanted to ask me that I could just address very quickly? Is there anything you need right now? You can unmute yourself if there is. If you think of it as the call goes on, like if you're like, no, I don't have any now, and then you think of it, put it in the chat and I'll get to it here tonight. Sound good? All right. Kathy, you're unmuted. Did you want to say something? Or no, you are muted. Never mind. I'm toggling to unmute you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go on our topic. And what I'll do now is I'm going to put it in full screen. So when I do that, I can't really see you guys. So if you want to interject, please just unmute yourself. I'm happy to, kind of stop for a moment and I'll take it out of full screen. But I just find that you guys can see it better whenever I put it into full screen mode. So I'm going to do that now. Let's see here. All right, so tonight we are talking about creating your brand on social media. It's one of my favorite topics because I feel like it's the most important thing in your business as far as becoming one of those coaches versus becoming one of those coaches who don't make it in the business. The ones who make it in the business are the ones who get really good at creating a brand on social media. So tonight, first things first, I want to talk about behaviors that move your business forward. You've probably heard me mention in some of our training videos the topic of vital behaviors. Basically, these are the behaviors that Beachbody gave us that said, do this and you will have success in the business. They seem easy, right? When we look at them, we think to ourselves, that's easy, I can do that. But they're actually so easy to do that sometimes we don't do them. And what happens is when we don't do them, our business stalls or it stops. And then that's when you scratch your head and you're like, why isn't it working? I promise you, anytime you see a slowness in your momentum or a halt in growth, I think you should always come back to these vital behaviors and ask yourself, am I doing these vital things? And so Beachbody has told us these are our vital behaviors. Number one is at least 10 pages of personal development books a day. So some of you aren't readers, and that's okay. That means that you can listen to them. I will tell you that when I started, I didn't do this for a while. I was like, nah, I don't need personal development books. I'm going to skip that step. And I wish that I hadn't. But now, 4.5 years in, it's my favorite part of the business. I find myself doing PD versus doing all the other things some days. And eventually you'll get to that point. I would say that on average, I average about 45 minutes to an hour of PD a day. I like to listen to different training calls, different books. I like to read. So I find ways when I'm in the shower, when I'm working out, like I just find different times that I just will pop on a podcast or something. And that's how I fulfill my daily PD. But I can tell you when I don't do it, oh man, I feel a difference tremendously in my business and just my spirit. So PD helps keep me in my little bubble where I can just keep rocking this business. So if you haven't started a book yet or an audio or a podcast, please let us know and we would be glad to give you some suggestions. The next vital behavior is inviting daily to challenge groups or to coaching. That means that you have to actually have conversations with people and you have to get uncomfortable. In the beginning here, your invites are probably close friends, close family members. As you continue to grow your business on social media though, you're going to have all strangers for your clients, and that's really exciting. I will tell you that Instagram stories, if you're not already using them daily, I want you to commit to starting today because it allows you to document your life so that people can see that you are the real deal. It also makes inviting so simple. If you're not following me on Instagram yet, my Instagram name is just at Sarah Elizabeth 27. I got my name before I had this business and I can't change it really to anything that makes sense. But on my stories, I don't know that you guys can see me, but on my stories, I just document my life all day long. But I'm always putting in here options for people to get involved. I'm always having a call to action, whether it be wanting more info about my challenge group or coaching. I like to use the pool option. And today I posted a picture of being officially down 6 pounds in 3 weeks thanks to my new nutrition program. And then I wrote that the best part was I don't feel deprived. And I asked them, do you want me to, would you like to join me and start your own journey? When I do these pools, I never use yes or no. It's always yes or yes. I don't give them the option to say no. If you're voting, I'm assuming you're interested. Then I send them a message and I invite them and ask for their email address so I can share more info. So I want you to get in the habit of every single day inviting and stop thinking of it as like a yucky thing to do or a hard thing to do. Get excited and think about the fact that somebody out there today really needs your light and they need your help. And until you invite them, they're not coming. Think of it as like a birthday party, right? When you have a birthday party or a party or a wedding, if you don't invite them, you're at the party alone. So I don't want you to be at your party alone. I want you to have people there who want to do this with you. So Beachbody asks us to be a product of the product. That's what they tell us. And that means drink Shakeology every day, work out every day, and again, share your journey and share your story and post about it. Now, this originally they used to tell us 3 to 4 times a day and not all Beachbody on social media. But social media is changing right now. And right now we are in the era of content over quality or quantity. So quality over quantity. And so I used to post 3 to 4 times a day on my Facebook, on my Instagram. What I do now is I strive to post twice a day on my social media platforms. And no, it's not all Beachbody. In fact, my Instagram, you have to really, really pay attention to know I'm a true Beachbody coach because I just post that I'm a lifestyle coach and I don't want people to be turned off by pictures of me with a Shakeology shaker cup. Like I don't put it out there like that's what I'm doing. However, if you watch my stories, you see that I post on there probably 10 to 15 times a day, and I'm sharing my whole life. So you'll see the kids, you'll see the business, you'll see the workouts, you'll see Energize, you'll see all of it there. And so it allowed me to build that relationship with them. And that's just what I wanted to share about that piece as far as the vital behaviors go. Now, it's important that we start to think about who your target audience is. Because when most coaches join, I say, who's your target market? And they smile and they say, oh my gosh, I just want to help everybody. That was what I said when I was new. I wanted to help everyone, right? Because right now, chances are you're probably feeling really great. You're getting results and you're telling everybody and their mother and their brother about what you're doing. At least that's what I did. I was a walking billboard for Beachbody when I was teaching. I was like, guys, I love this stuff. Like, I was having the time of my life. But I soon learned that I needed to be more specific of who I wanted to help. I remember promoting my challenge groups in community yard sale pages and just like everywhere I could think of, wedding pages, like meetups, like you name it. I was like, join my challenge group. But what was happening was I was getting people who I didn't actually want to work with. And so I want you to realize that you need to have a target market, and it needs to be basically you. It's your brand. And what's going to happen is when you get really good at your target market and creating your target audience, what's going to happen is people aren't going to like you. Or at least they're not going to feel that vibe with you. And what's going to happen, I hope, fingers crossed, you're going to think I'm crazy when I say this, but I want you to get unfollowed by some people. I think it's a great thing when I go to my Facebook friends list and I see that I have a few less. It means that I weeded out the people who don't really vibe with me. I don't want to work with you unless you feel that energy with me, unless you relate to my story. And so that's what you guys are going to do. You're not going to care that everybody may not like what you're saying. You're going to care that your target person cares what you're saying. And so figuring out your target audience is actually easy. It's you. It's the person you were before Beachbody or the person who you are now. And when you learn to talk to that person in your posts, everything gets easy. They tell us that our vibe attracts our tribe and like attracts like. And what's really funny is that if you look at our team, so like if you were to say to our team, how are you connected to Sarah? 80% of them will tell you, oh, I'm a teacher. That's what we have in common. Some of them will say, I have a thyroid condition. Some of them will say, I have infertility issues or I've dealt with miscarriages. So these are common things that I seem to attract, and I know why. It's because I talk about them on social media. Sometimes I'll get messages on Instagram and they'll say, oh my gosh, I feel like you're my best friend, or I feel like I know you, or girl, we are like twins. And when I see that, I'm like, yes, that means that my targeting is working. So these are some of the things that I talk about whenever I talk about my, when you come to my page, you're going to probably see a lot of these things. You're going to see business stuff. You're going to see infertility or miscarriage things. You're going to see, I used to talk about my teaching career, motherhood stuff, thyroid health. But here's the thing. This business is actually very difficult. It's fun. It's rewarding, but it's difficult. And I am here 4.5 years later because I believed in the potential, and I love it, and I continue to love it. But I don't ever want to give off the facade to anybody joining me that this is easy, get rich quick, come join me. Because what happens when you market things that way is that you don't get the people who want to work for this business and who want to work for the opportunity. So I make a point that on my Instagram stories, I show them that, hey, it's 12 o'clock at night and I'm working right now because this is when I can work. But I don't want you guys to ever downplay the value of talking about your hard work and your hustle and what you're putting into this, because what you're going to get out of it is it'll blow your mind if you can put the work in. So again, speak from your heart. Perfection is not real. They want to see you struggling. They want to see the journey. They don't need to see you and how perfect you are. They need to see what it looks like becoming who you are right now. What did it take? What are you doing? What are your struggles? What are your pain points? These are things you're going to talk about. Now, another thing that your upline coach, whether it's me or your one of my personally sponsored coaches, they will say to you, what's your why? And I remember saying to my upline coach, my why is simple. I want to help people. I want them to feel as good as I feel right now. And she said, that's super sweet. That's not a good enough why. I was like, what? What do you mean? And she said, it's not. I said, why not? And she said, because it's not going to be what gets you through the hard seasons. And it's not going to be what keeps you up late at night. It has to be a fire. And it has to make you want something so bad. It's got to be strong, and it's got to, they used to tell me your why has to make you want to cry. And I was like, okay. And I had to dig deep and think about it and figure out, why am I sacrificing my nights, sacrificing TV time, sacrificing time away from my husband. Why am I sharing my life on social media? Why? So number one, even though she told me it couldn't be my why, it's still that I want to be a light for other people. I still just want to help people. So even though she told me that wasn't a good enough why, I'm going to still tell you it is. I do want to help people. I want to inspire people. I want them to feel like I am a light to them. I feel like it's also part of my Christ journey. I feel like God has given me this opportunity and these blessings, and I get to pay it forward to other people by showing them what I've been given and by giving them hope. Maybe they're not a client. Maybe they're not a coach. Maybe they just follow me on social media and they're like, that girl, like, she makes me feel inspired. I want people to feel that way. So that's part of it. Number two is that I wanted freedom, right? I was a teacher. And so teachers in the state of Pennsylvania, we make middle class salaries. I didn't want to make a middle class salary. I wanted to really make a lot of money. And I wanted to be a business builder. And I wanted the kind of freedom where I could not go to work on a Monday morning. And I wanted the kind of freedom that my husband teases me that I have champagne taste. I love to shop. I love to spend money, but I don't like debt. So that means that I like to pay with cash for things. So these are all things that I was like, but I didn't have that on a teacher's budget. I was on a strict budget. So it meant that I couldn't go to Ulta. I couldn't go on the extra trips. I couldn't drive the Mercedes that I drive now. Like, these are all things that I couldn't do before. And so I was chasing freedom, but I also was chasing a different kind of freedom. My husband, so this is kind of cool. My husband, when I got my teaching job, we moved to State College, and that was basically a 2.5 hour drive for my husband from where his work was. And instead of quitting his job when I got my teaching job, he kept it. And so for almost 10 years, he drove to and from work every day, 2.5 hours there, 2.5 hours back. And he also would commute and sometimes be 3 hours and 4 hours. Guess what that meant? That meant that I spent a lot of nights putting my son to bed by myself. I spent a lot of nights trying to balance a little boy who was 2 and 3 years old while making dinner, while being exhausted from my teaching job. I was taking graduate classes to become a principal. I had all the balls in the air, and I just wanted more time with my husband. And so 4 years ago, that was my fire. I wanted to figure this out so that I could have more time with my husband. And so I did it. And so you guys probably have maybe didn't know this chapter, but I quit my job 2 years ago. And now we moved this year, and now we're a lot closer to my husband's job. We actually are very close to it. I'm close to my family. So if I want help with watching the kids, my mom lives 6 minutes away. I didn't have that before. My life is super different. I don't go to work on Monday mornings, but I do go to work at 10 o'clock at night because that's how I built this business. So I've made trade-offs, but my life looks really different, and it all stemmed from me having a really strong why that I wanted to change more than I wanted to stay the same, and I wanted that freedom. And so I chased it, and I got it, and I'm still chasing it. So one thing that you have to get good at doing in order to really attract your tribe is telling your story. And it's the one that you don't want to share, right? It's the one that, like, sometimes you just want to hide. So like this past year, I went through postpartum depression and anxiety. Nobody wants to talk on social media that they're struggling with depression. I went through a miscarriage this past year, and just a couple months ago, actually, and it was a really traumatic miscarriage. People don't like to talk about that either, right? It's messy. I shared that, and instead of just saying like, oh my gosh, I had a miscarriage, and it was so traumatic, and I'm so depressed, and I'm just going to stay in this state, I decided to take my platform and be a light. And to be a light for somebody who was struggling with exactly what I was struggling with. And I decided to just share. And so that's what I do. I share my story. When we went through our infertility journey for several years prior to having Grace, we shared that. When we had a miscarriage before we had Grace, we shared that. When we were pregnant with my daughter Grace, we shared it. And wow, the day I had Grace, it wasn't just our delivery day. I swear it was all of social media's delivery day. They came along for the ride. I want your people to come along for your ride. I want you to share your story. The more you share, the more others are going to trust you, like you, and it will bring your people to you. Remember how I told you a little while ago that all of my coaches were teachers, or they had, infertility issues or miscarriage or whatever? It's because I shared my story and they saw themselves in me. And so that's what I want you to work on doing, is telling your story in a way that somebody else who has the same struggles or the same triumphs or whatever can put themselves in their shoes and say, she's got what I want, or she is who I want to be, or I'm just like her. I want that to happen. So here's the deal. If you want to blow up your business, because I know you do, that's why you're on these calls and that's why you're in this group, I want you to get laser focused and to get excited and put your blinders on. I want you to take a match. I want you to light up your business. And here's how you're going to do it. You are going to stay so focused on your transformation, and you're going to share it. And you're going to share it often from different angles, and you're going to show people exactly how you got your transformation. Yeah, because that's what they want to know. How'd you do it? They're watching you right now. If you told people that you're a coach, and last week that was your homework, so I hope you did. If you told people you're a coach, they're now watching. They may not like any of your posts. They may not comment on any of your posts. They may tell you no 6 times when you invite them, 6 months in a row, but they're watching you. They need to see you doing this, and they need to build trust with you. You can build their trust and you can win an audience by getting a transformation. Doesn't matter if right now you're a size 12 and your goal is to be a size 6. Don't start sharing when you're the size 6. Share from 12 to 10 to 8, the whole way down to 6, and people will say, they won't say, how'd you do that? They'll say, I saw you do that and you inspired me. Now I need you to help me do that. Because that's what they want. They want help. But they need to believe that you're not selling them a line of crap, right? They need to believe that you're really going to be the coach that helps them get the results. Because most of them have been burned before. They've been burned by wraps and drinks and pills and you name it, and it hasn't worked for them. And so they are skeptical of you and your business and your new transformation. But if you can share with them how you're doing it, they're going to come and join you. When they tell you no, I want you to give and give and give. I want you to say to them, it's okay. I completely understand. It took me a while to want to do this challenge group too. Would you like my meal plan? Do you want a copy of my, maybe you make yourself a free Google Doc that has recipes in it, or meal planning tricks. I have some videos on my YouTube channel where it's like meal planning hacks for beginners. Just give. I used to do a lot of free groups when I was a new coach. I don't do that anymore, but I would sometimes run like a 3-day or a 5-day free group where I would teach clean eating, or I would teach them, just different topics that I felt like I was good at. I'm gluten-free. A lot of people want to be gluten-free or are curious, but they don't have a clue how to start. So I used to run groups on that. So those are all things to think about from a giver's mindset, and I really just want you to focus on you right now. And for the coming months, I want you to focus on your transformation story. How can you share it? How can you continue to get those results? And you're just going to see like a huge fire in your business. Okay, so I'm going to wrap. And I wanted to see if you have any questions. I'm going to read the comments up here. But if you want to unmute, or if you have something, put it in the chat. Kathy says, I'm taking workout pictures after I'm done and pick one move I like. Okay, yeah, that's okay, Kathy. That's good.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask was just my personality, and I'm very meticulous, lists and everything, but I don't want to look like I'm reading notes, because I watched this one lady's video. She's in a different business, and she looked like her camera was really low. And it was like she was looking down on you while you're watching this video, and you saw all her notes.
Okay.
Which I didn't think was professional. But I was wondering about one of those stands that, secretaries might have.
Yeah, that would be great. Do you mean like if you're going to make like a YouTube video or go live? Is that what you're going to use that for?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Some of us are like, I was a teacher, so I just wing it. I didn't like tonight, I didn't look at any notes, or like I just had my slides and I just talked. But I realized that for some of you, you don't want to just wing it. And I think that would be a great idea to have stand like that. Sure. That's a
have it at the same level. Yeah. And I've posted a couple of lives, Facebook lives and stuff, and they've been pretty good. So
good. Just getting that comfort level is huge. Like once you can get comfortable in front of the screen and the camera, it's no big deal. Like Michelle goes live constantly. She's one of my coaches, and she didn't do that in the beginning. She built up to that where she uses a lot. She builds a lot of trust with it and gets clients from it. So I think it's great that you're trying. As far as your workout pictures go, one thing that when I was a new coach, it's really silly, but I thought I had to like take the pictures in action. So I'd like be doing my workout, and as I was doing the workout, I'd try to take the photos. But I've since learned that your workout is your really sacred time. That's when you need to like get everything out of your head. You need to put your phone down and just enjoy that time to sweat. And then after the workout's over, remember your favorite move, whatever it was, and you can pose for it, or you can take the videos. Like I do IG stories, and those are just 15-second clips. So I play music really loud in the background, and then I just, I hit the hands free and it's 3, 2, 1 and I run, and then I start doing the workout. So I think people think that I'm just working out and they're watching, but when I work out, it's my time. And so I need that to be my time, not me trying to film a video or take a picture, but I used to do that. Okay, so Erica says, this was so helpful. I just downloaded Instagram. Good, yeah, definitely learn. So next week, you guys are getting like a crash course on Instagram. See, with Facebook, do you automatically invite people to groups or ask if they want to be included? That's such a great question. Facebook has gotten to be a touchy place, right? We feel like abused when it comes to all these groups and people selling stuff. And so I always ask them. I never just invite someone. I never just add someone to a group. I always ask for like when I was promoting To Be Mindset, I made posts where I would say like, drop a GIF below if you want more info, or drop a veggie emoji. And some of you might have gotten here because you dropped a veggie emoji. But I just like would say stuff, and then I would invite them to the group, and I would send them a message and say, hey, I just added you into this info group. Check it out. Let's talk more once you've looked at some of the info. But I always want them to feel like it's their choice to be there, and I'm just glad that they're curious. What else? Any other questions tonight? My question is, are you having fun?
Yeah. I was just going to say, I just started promoting my free group for next week.
Perfect.
And one thing when I started the Facebook page that Michelle said was, get a lot of pictures in your page, build it up before you publish it. Yeah, so it doesn't look, so it looks like it's been around for a bit, or
yeah.
And so I got, I'm going to do another like join the page or whatever, because I've only got like 10 people right now, but it'll grow and I'm not too worried. It's just
it will. And so our markets are different too. Like my age group, so like 20 to 35, like we're super big on Instagram right now, whereas like the Facebook age group is like 40 plus whatever, and like that's where, so like for example, Michelle is one of my older coaches, and Michelle like thrives on Facebook on her like page, and that's where she's chosen to build her business. I feel like Instagram is my money spot. So all of you are gonna you're going to find your spot where you're like, this is where my people are. And so I love that you're trying to figure it out. I love that you're building like the business page on Facebook. That's so good. But if you're on here and you're like, I don't want to make a Facebook page, I just want to do Instagram, like you can make any of these options roll for you. So I just think it's good. I'm proud of you guys. Thanks for getting on the call tonight. It was fun to see you. If you need anything, let me know. I shared a video tonight in our training. I posted it late with having little kids at home. Sometimes I can't get to work until they're in bed, so tonight's came late. But you can check that out tonight, do your homework, and we will see you guys on the team call on Sunday night if you're able to join us. And then again, next week we'll have a guest speaker for our training call because I'll be at Summit. I'm so excited. It's our big coach event. So Kate is going to take over that call for us next week. So you can look for info from Kate. Okay? All right. Good night, ladies. Thank you. Bye.